see the drip, yeah, I'm fitted up. Hop in my car and the giddy up. Secure the bag, yeah, I get the bus. Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. You see the drip, yeah, I'm fitted up. Hop in my car and the giddy up. Secure the bag, yeah, I get the bus. Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up, pick it up.
Alright, what's up, guys? This is like the first time that I've actually been back on YouTube since I competed. And it's, let me tell you a funny story. So a couple days ago, I tried my best to like give a meet recap in my own apartment, and I couldn't speak. Like I was like, fuck, like I can't talk right now. So I'm like, you know, I'm gonna hook up with Duhan, get a high quality video out to you guys to kind of like give a meet recap for the 2019 IPF Worlds Championship meet that I competed at in Helsingborg, Sweden. So I'm gonna be talking to you guys as I'm working out, getting through this chest and back workout. So hope you guys enjoy it.
I've been on the flex since flex zone. Neighborhood all in your eardrums. I ain't never scared like Bone Crush. Boy, I got God, don't fear none. My line busy, take no calls. Feels like I don't have no flaws. Snakes in the grass, cut those off. Your old squad shady, my bros raw.
Okay guys, so the way I thought about breaking down this video to make it easier on myself is kind of have like different sections when I talk about just like how prep went in a chronological order. So I think the first thing we need to go over is obviously the prep. Excuse me, I'm a little out of breath. I'm not used to doing bodybuilding stuff, but let's talk about prep. So prep for Worlds was phenomenal. Like a lot of people ask me what are some of the negative things that you had in prep, and I can honestly say this prep was flawless in a sense. Like my training was on point, my nutrition was on point, my recovery was on point, my stress levels were down, and just like everything fell into place the way that it should have. Like you guys saw my prep, y'all saw it, like it went fine. I hit PRs in training, and it was phenomenal. So on the nutrition side, I kept my weight down. Whenever I get ready for a meet, I like to be in that 188 to 190 pound range because it makes it easier to cut into the weight class. And I actually flew to Sweden at like 187 pounds, so it made the weight cut almost mindless at that point, and I was super happy about that. So that's just kind of like a quick summary of how prep went. Once again, it was super easy. So next we're going to talk about just like weight cutting, how the international travel affected my performance on the platform, and things of that nature. Yo, I'm like, I'm gassed right now. I've gone through 2 movements. I'm doing a chest and back workout. Everything's gonna be supersetted, and I'm already dead. But okay, so let's talk about you know, water cutting and then international travel, weighing, and like the difficulties that come with that. So as I mentioned, I kept my weight at probably like 188 to 187 pounds. I kept it pretty low this prep just because of the international travel. Whenever, like last year I competed in Canada, and Canada is kind of like the same as the US. It's like, it's counted as international, but at the same time, it's like right on top of the US. So my flight was like probably like what, 4 hours? So I didn't really count that as like a international meet. Versus this time around, I competed in Helsingborg, Sweden, which is a total of like 13 hours of travel time. So I knew that I was gonna have to prepare myself for that. And I decided to keep my weight a little bit lower because, number one, it's a different country. I don't know, like I can't read the nutrition labels on shit like that. I don't know how easily I don't know how easily I can get my hand on food that like is good for me, for my weight cut. So it's like, I took all these things into account and knew that I think I'm better off keeping my weight a little bit lower. So what happened was I got on the plane. Usually whenever you're water cutting and you're water loading for powerlifting meet and you have to get on a plane, you want to make sure that you're pounding water as much as possible. But my weight was already low. I didn't really have to worry about that. So when it came to international travel, I tried to make the journey a lot easier for myself during prep. The hardest thing that I wanted to have during this whole meet prep situation was the prep itself. So I took care of everything that I had to take care of in prep, and then when I got to the meet time, everything kind of took care of itself. So whenever I got there, I was like 188, 187. I was able to like eat a very, very big meal, like 2 days out. The day before, I'm not gonna go through the water cut exactly because that's Joey's protocol, and I paid for that. And if you want to figure out yourself, go pay Joey and he can tell you that. Because that's his personal key. It's not my coaching key, so it's like I don't want to hand that to you guys for free. So, but what I can say is that the night before or the day before, I made sure I consumed around 4 gallons of water. So that's what I did this time around. I consumed 4 gallons of water before I went to sleep. And I woke up at like 185-ish pounds, and then I sweated the last 2 to 3 pounds off, and I weighed in 181 pounds for the competition. And overall, man, I'd say that it wasn't too difficult to kind of like get myself prepared weight-wise for powerlifting meet. So easy cut. Now let's continue on with the workout. The next I'm gonna talk about just the meet itself, and I'm gonna start off with squat first. Yeah, so we just talked about international travel and like weighing in and, you know, preparation for that. So I want to talk about post weigh-in nutrition. A lot of people like to pig out, right? So there's a 2-hour weigh-in. I mean, there's a 2-hour period from when you weigh in until when you actually step on the platform to compete when the competition starts, right? So a lot of people in that 2-hour window like to eat like a bunch of shit and not properly refuel their body to compete at a high level. So the most important thing that I had to do whenever I weighed in was, number one, get a lot of water in, get some sodium in to keep that water in, and then also just fuel up with like carbs, electrolytes, stuff like that, to make sure that like when I stepped on the platform, number one, I had a pretty nice bloat going on, because you want to be as heavy as you possibly can when you're on that platform. So like I got probably up to, I want to say maybe 189 to 190 pounds whenever I got to my first squat attempt. So like within that first hour and a half, I'm chugging water, mango juice because it had carbs in it, and that's like basically what I could get my hands on overseas. Powerade that had a shit ton of salt in it for water retention. And then what else? I had a banana, some Skittles, but for the most part, like, food upsets my stomach. I don't want to eat too much food because when I get on that platform, I feel really, really uncomfortable. The thing that I prioritize the most is rehydration. I want to make sure that whenever I start going to the restroom during the meet, that I'm peeing clear. If I'm peeing like yellow, that means I'm still dehydrated and I'm gonna end up cramping on the platform. Once again, my post weigh-in nutrition is very simple. For the most part, there's no solids. I get all of my carbs through like the liquids that I take, and then Skittles and then like a banana here and there. So let's talk about squats. Squats, I went in super confident just given the way that prep went. I was hitting amazing numbers, and it's funny because I only knew my opener. Like whenever we get ready for international competition, I have like a head coach, which is like the coach for the USA team. Then obviously I have Joey. So we were required to send in our attempts for bench, squat, and deadlift. And I knew that I was opening up with 290 kilograms, which translates to 640 pounds. And like, that's the only weight that I knew that I was gonna hit for the day. Like I didn't know what was on the bar for my second and third attempts. But for my third attempt, I ended up hitting 313 kg, which is 690 pounds, because I chipped it. So it's funny because like, okay, let me explain exactly what I was thinking about whenever I got up to the platform, right? This is my third attempt. I'm like, all right, my second attempt moved, but I'm finna blow up this third, right? So I get to the rack, I'm like doing my thing, I unrack it, walk out with it, and I'm like, I'm finna blow this shit up. Then I get in the hole, and I come back up, and I'm like, this heavier than I thought. So I got it back up, and I racked it. And if you notice, I'm smiling after the lift, because I'm like, in my head, I'm like, what the fuck was on the bar to make me try so hard, right? Then I got back to the waiting room, and like after a couple of minutes, I figured out that I actually squatted 313 kg, which was 690 pounds. And I was like, damn, I squatted 690 pounds in competition? I was like, oh shit. Overall, man, squat went fantastic. And it's just funny because like, I always know what's on the bar in competition. Like, I'm not one of those lifters like, don't tell me what's on the bar. I'm gonna lift it regardless. Like, I need to know what's on there so I can put the exact effort that I have to put in order to move the weight. Because like in training, I know exactly what's on the bar, and it kind of helps me get hyped up for the lift. And just not knowing what's on there was a little bit different this time around. But overall, very satisfied with the way squats went. We had to make sure, I'm gonna talk about another aspect. I know Duhan's arms are dying. I see the pump going right now. I'll make this part really fast. So going into the meet, I was paying attention to the way they were judging it. They weren't playing around with depth. Like, you had to be pretty much undeniable to get 3 white lights. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to adjust my techniques in order to make myself undeniable. So if you notice, I squatted hella deep. Like, there's no way I could have got a red on that. So that's another thing that I changed up during the meet that I'm very proud of. It's like, I think that athletes, your arms are shaking, I can see it. I think our athletes' best trait is their ability to adapt. So like, whenever the judges were calling depth for people that I thought were going low enough, I was like, oh fuck, that's not low enough. I'm gonna have to adjust the way I squat in order to get those 3 white lights. All right, I'm done. You can cut it off now. I see your arm shaking. All right, so let's talk about bench and deadlift. Honestly, I'm gonna put bench and deadlift together because like I honestly do not care that much about bench, and it's not that exciting. So I ended up benching 430 pounds. I'm so sorry. I ended up benching 195 kg, which is 430 pounds, or 429 pounds. So it is what it is. Bench ain't that exciting to me. So let's fast forward to deadlift, right? So when it came to deadlift, obviously I knew what I was opening up with. I opened up with 663 pounds, I believe it was 302.5 kg. It flew. Hold it. Then my second attempt was 694. It flew again. I got to my third attempt on deadlift and I was like, at that point, I was so confident in how the meet was going. I was already like 8 for 8. So I was like, whatever is on the bar for my final attempt is gonna fly. Like, I don't care what it was. So I ended up pulling 716 pounds, I believe, which is like a pound away from the world record at the time. And once again, it flew. And I had the utmost confidence it was gonna fly. That's why I kind of like gave that look. After I pulled it, I was just like, come on now, stop playing with your boy. Stop playing with the kid. So overall, man, the meet went as perfect as it could have gone. Like, we executed the way we wanted to execute, and then on the final deadlift attempt, I felt like I had some pounds left on the bar just because I didn't go all the way out. Like, it looked like there wasn't a kilo left, but honestly, like in all honesty, I was just pulling. Like, I wasn't really focused on like putting the most effort into the bar just because I was so confident that the weight would go up. So in closing remarks, actually I'll talk to you guys after I do this set right here, but overall, man, bench and deadlift went solid again. And next up, we're gonna talk about my goals going forward. And that's pretty much it, man. Let's get to work. Okay, so let's go ahead and close this video out. There's two more points I want to go through. So obviously, let's talk about expectations going into the meet and like, was I able to meet those expectations? A lot of you guys were like saying like, do kilo plates make a difference? Does international travel make a difference? Does all that play a role into what you're able to hit on the platform? And the question is obviously, or the answer is obviously yes. So going to this meet, Joey sent me the numbers that he expects me to hit, like at a low end and then at a top end. So my top end for bench, squat, and deadlift, my squat top end was 694 pounds, my bench top end was 440 pounds, and then my deadlift top end was 733 pounds. Those were the numbers that he had me hitting at like my very, very, very best. And we weren't too far off from that because he gives me kind of like a low number to hit, and then like a mid number, and then a top number, and we got kind of closer to the top number, and that's all you can ask for. So like going into the meet, I pretty much met the expectations that we had set prior. A lot of you guys were probably like, yo, how come you didn't hit 700 plus pounds in competition? It's like, bro, you have to realize whenever you get to the competition, you're now competing in different circumstances. Like, number one, I'm dehydrated, or I'm not dehydrated, but I weigh a lot less, right? I don't have the exact rest time that I usually have in between sets. It's kilo plates, I'm in a different country. All those things play a role in my performance. I always say that performances are circumstantial. It all depends on like who's judging, where you're at, the amount of travel time that you had in order to get to that particular meet, how much you weigh, all those things play a role. So I'm very satisfied with the numbers I was able to hit. So I ended up totaling 1,836 pounds, which translates to 833 kilograms. That's a world record right now for the 83 kg weight class, and like I said, that's pretty fucking awesome. Like, the goal that I had for this meet was like around 840 kg. That at the end of the day got pretty close to it, and that's all I could really, hang my hat on. I'm super happy about that. Now going forward, goals that I have. right? And the meets that I have. So obviously next up is Raw Nationals in October. That's happening in Chicago. We're probably like 12 weeks out. I haven't even started training for it. I start training this upcoming week, so I'm gonna be documenting that, obviously. And then this is gonna be very interesting. I feel like this is gonna kind of shock some people, but I was talking to Joey during the meet. I don't think I'm competing in IPF Worlds next year.
NANI?
So IPF Worlds next year is actually in Russia, and there's just some things going on that I'm not sure that I want to kind of involve myself in like next year's World. So we'll see about that. But right now, as of planned, I have Raw Nationals coming up in October, which is going to be in Chicago. I plan on having like a meetup for that for my last training session. I want everyone to come through, show love, have fun, and support. And then next year, I'm probably not doing IPF Worlds, but I will be doing a local meet. And the meet that I haven't had to do is in the summer. It's called Power Fest here in Houston, Texas. Yeah. Yeah. I got Romel and Duhan looking at me like, oh shit. So the plan is to compete in Power Fest next year in the summer in Houston, Texas. So that's what I have in my head for right now. So those are the goals going forward. I really want to set a new standard of what it means to be like impressive in the 83 kg weight class. And I'm gonna say that on wax because that's what I want. And that's the goal that I'm aiming for. So hopefully, you know, powerlifting gods, please bless me with the health in order to accomplish my goals. But going forward, man, I'm just super excited to set new goals. Hopefully squat around 700 pounds in competition, bench maybe like 440 to 450 pounds, and then deadlift like 750. Those are like outward goals that I have for myself that I want to accomplish in the near future. So it's gonna be a surgical summer, man. I want to thank you guys so much for the support. Just like, you know, everything, like just everything, man. It really means a lot. So if you guys are watching this video, right now the GBT launch is live, so head on to my website. The link's gonna be in the description box. Hit me up on Instagram, all that kind of stuff. But anyways, thank you guys for tuning into today's video. Like always, can I hit your camera? You good? Okay. Like always, if you guys like today's video, please like, comment, share, subscribe. Goodbye today. I'm out.
Don't even know if someone gon' feel me. So many sides to a nigga, I wonder who's the real me. Tired of fighting, tired of always trying to enlighten. Hit the blunt that I'm lighting to catch a spark, cause I'm writing some shit that'll cause a riot or make a war go quiet.